How y'all doing? It's your boy Arthur Demetrias Dale Charles, also known as Tortured Talent. Um, I'm bringing you this video today because I'm just tired of seeing what's going on the news as far as our young kids, adolescent males, are being shot down at an unbelievable rate, more so now than ever before. I don't know what kind of conspiracy it is to kill African American youth, but whoever put the word out for this type of behavior all throughout the country is ridiculous. They're turning up the heat, and they're using that I was attacked. Oh yeah, well, the little young guy, he launched at me, or he tried to go for my gun. And basically, we're not going to buy that. Our young kids, they know how to act in the presence of authority. So anyway, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my life. A lot of you know me from Facebook. You know, like I said, I'm Arthur Demetrius Dale Charles. I wrote a book called Playing in the Streets. It's a true story about my life. Me and my brother on the streets of Los Angeles, we grew up on the west side. We lived in that Lamert Park, Crenshaw, Baldwin Hills area of Los Angeles. And my younger brother, he's serving 15 to life in prison right now because of his gang activities. And I've also been to prison myself a couple of different times. So I'm going to be bringing you guys these videotapes, and I hope I can inspire a lot of you youth out there, a lot of your sons, your nephews, your cousins, whoever it may be, to watch this videotape, and me giving my testimony and telling you how God actually spoke to me and told me to write my book and to change my life. And so that's what I've done with my life. I'm originally from Beaumont, Texas. I left for Los Angeles when I was about 4 years old to go live with an aunt who was very abusive. And because of that abuse, it pushed me and my brother out into the streets. And when we were runaways at a young age, the streets of Los Angeles, the gangs took us in, the local neighborhood gang. And that's how they do their recruiting. They don't care how young your child is. If your child is out there looking like they lost, like me and my brother was, those gangs will take care of your kids. And what these gangs are doing, they're reassuring your children that they love them. Now, it's a false sense of love all the way. What they would love to do is use your children, have them holding guns and drugs and whatnot. So anyway, these are the things that happened to me when I was in the streets. It's the gangs is all about using you. There's no real loyalty in the streets. There's no such thing as a G code. Whoever's having the most money at the time, those are the guys that's running the streets. They're not following any G code. They're doing what they want to do. And so don't get blinded by somebody telling you to keep it real. You got to keep it to the G code. Forget all that. You need to keep it real and keep it to the G code of God, and stay in school and get you an education and keep your pants on your waist, because God is real, and you are the evidence that God is real. You can look at yourself and see how uniquely different you are from every other individual you know in life. But God made you that way, and you need to be proud of yourself. And my message is not only for our youth, but my message is for our parents. Sometimes we tell our kids, don't do as I do, do as I say. And I'm here to tell you that you have to give your children a decent amount of respect. The same respect that you want them to have for you, you have to have for them. And that means you have to lead by example. As parents, that's what we have to do. Because in our society right now, the government is taking our rights away, the rights to discipline, our God-given right to discipline our children, just like the Adrian Peterson situation. The Minnesota Vikings, they're ready to kick him off the team, or was ready to kick him off the team, because he disciplined his child, because he loved his child enough to discipline his child. But the way the system is set up, if you bruise your child in any slight way, then they're going to put you in jail for abuse, when all you're trying to do is spare the rod and spoil the child. You're trying to use your biblical understanding of your God-given right to discipline your child, and they're trying to take that right away from you. And so, I commend Adrian Peterson for disciplining his child, because that's showing love. There's a difference between beating and disciplining. They got some parents that go overboard, like my Auntie Gloria. She went overboard on us. She used to beat us like on a daily basis, till we was bloody. And that was never a good situation. So with Adrian Peterson's situation, yeah, he disciplined his child. His child had a couple of marks on his arm, on his leg. But I would rather my son or my child to have a mark on his leg or his arm and feel the sting of my belt or a switch than to feel the burn of a bullet piercing his soul and his heart and his body, and him laying dead cold in the middle of the streets because some rogue cop, some racist cop, said that my son was being aggressive and made a move for his gun. Come on now, we know that that's just some drama. But anyway, so I'm hoping to touch people with my story. There's nothing that anybody can tell your child about the streets in a negative way that I can't turn it around and show them the real way, how it really go, and how they really trying to entrap their children in these gangs, which are cults. And I tell young people all the time that, gang banging is devil worship. And everything a gang member believes in is antichrist. So why would you waste your time and sell your soul to a gang who they don't believe in God? They might wear gold crosses, wooden crosses, rosaries. A lot of them like to wear those rosaries. But they don't believe in God. Because if they did, they wouldn't want you to be a part of something that was so demonic, that had you out here doing God knows what, burning from both ends. So I like to use my story to try to inspire a whole generation of people. And like I said, I write books. My book is called Playing in the Streets. And I give away a lot of my books to a lot of these young adolescent black males because they're not going to buy the book. But they actually need the wisdom that's laced in those pages in order for them to grow, in order for them to realize through true change and through my true story, fighting for their souls in the pages of my book. And a lot of them are not going to sit there and just read it, but at least they have the book. And it's going to be a point in time where those individuals that I give free books to, because like I said, they're not going to buy the wisdom that they need, but they need it, so I like to give it to them. After I talk to them, I like to make sure that they have something personalized with me signing something to them with their name on it, with my name on it, and I give them a book and I give them a hug and I let them know you ain't got to gangbang no more. If somebody asks you why you ain't banging no more, tell them an OG told you you ain't got to do it no more. An OG dude from L.A., show them the book. And if they got a problem, hey, let them come holler at me. Because 9 times out of 10, they ain't going to want that problem. But I try to give these kids hope. That's something that's lacking in our community. That's something that's lacking in our lives, everywhere we go, in inner city ghettos across the country, there's an epidemic of us hating on each other. If I come up on a little something, then the next guy is looking at me like you want to rob me or take what I have, And truly, if God bless me, the same God bless me, the same God will bless you. And whatever door I open, the same door you can come in. I'll never close the door behind me. Come on in, man. Let me help you get your mind right. Let me help you put your story together. Let's talk about where it went wrong. See, the gangs, they tell your kids that they love your kids. You know, they assess your kids what they wearing. And if your kid is wearing some bubble yums, and that might be the only thing that you can afford your children. It's some Walmart specials. But they might tell your kid, man, I'm going to buy you some Jordans. Just hang out with me, little homie. Here, hold this. Don't trip. And they keep their word with your kids. They buying your kids Jordans. Now, they have effectively became the primary parent to your children. They say, little homie, you hungry? And he's like, yeah. All right, I'm going to take you, go get you something to eat. You know? Hey, you smoke weed? Nah, I ain't never did. Go ahead. It ain't going to hurt you. Get that weed up in you, little homie. It's all good. Ha ha. Yeah, get high. The next thing you know, your son smoking weed. Next thing you know, your son wearing nice clothes because the gang members done bought your son nice clothes. You know? He ain't going to school no more. He out on the block. He selling rocks. He making a whole bunch of money. He ain't got time for school. He ain't got time for you either because you nagging him. You wasn't paying him no attention. But the streets was. The streets are always going to pay attention to your kids. They see them coming. And if you are actually abusing your kids, then they're the ones that are going to show your kid that confidence and support. And they're going to let them know, hey, we're going to protect you. You ain't got to worry about that. And so they do. So my message is we need to love our kids more. We need to fight for our kids. That's always my message. Fight for your kids. Here in Houston, I went to a couple of these juvenile facilities, and I tried to get in there to talk to the children about my life and, you know, drop a few books off so that they can read that story. But to my surprise, they took me through so much red tape. They didn't want me to come inside the facilities to talk to the kids. I had to go talk to this person, that person. They ran me around for about a good hour or so. But this is why. They're building prisons and they're building juvenile facilities for your children to be adult prisoners at a rapid pace. They'd rather spend that $30,000 that it costs to house your child for 1 year in prison or one of those facilities than to give your child a $15,000 scholarship so they can go to college. See, they're banking on your children's ignorance. And they're also taking the rights away from you to discipline your kid so that they can catch your kid out there in the streets and give them some flashlight therapy or taser them and shoot them and kill your kids. So if you got to go to jail for disciplining your children, then go to jail. You better go to jail. Better for you to go to jail than to be going to your son's funeral because he didn't get the discipline that he needed. Now, like I said before, there's always a difference between beating your children and discipline. So you have to walk that fine line. But, yeah, I just going to put these videos together, and I'm going to put my experience and my wisdom, you know, and my real talk. Y'all know me for my real talk. So I'm just going to put that out there for you guys. And I don't know how to say it more than what I'm saying it right now. We got to fight for our kids, and we got to support each other. I'm just one person. Not saying that one person can't make a difference, because I know that one person can make a difference. But it takes all of you to support people like myself who's going to go out there and put their neck on the line to try to save your children from these streets. And that's my mandate from God, so I'm going to do that, whether you support me or not. But it would just really feel so much better if I had your support. I made a GoFundMe page, and I talk about my mission to get out here and reach these children, to help save these children, and to pass out as many free books as I possibly can. It's not cheap for me to give, you know, out those books. So I really need you guys' support. You guys can buy books from me. You guys can go to my Amazon.com page and look up Playing in the Streets, P-L-A-Y-I-N, no G, P-L-A-Y-I-N-I-N-T-H-E, Streets, Playing in the Streets, by Arthur Demetrias Dale Charles. And you can look for my GoFundMe page Arthur Demetrius Dale Charles. I believe it is Arthur Demetrius Dale Charles, or it might just be Demetrias Dale Charles. That's Demetrias Dale Dale Charles Charles. Yeah, I really would like your support, because I'm out here trying to save our children. It saddens me every time I look at the TV. Every day there's some police officer who shot down another unarmed black teenager. Now, today is, Sally Lou's son, Brenda Jackson's boy. But tomorrow, it might be your boy. Tomorrow, it might be my boy. And then, instead of supporting a person like me who's willing to get out here and try to reach them with my real talk and with my real experiences, uh, we'll be out here trying to do a car wash or a barbecue to try to raise the money to bury that son that was lost, who needed some direction, who needed somebody like me who God saved so that I can give my message and my story to your sons or your cousins or your nephews or whoever might be in trouble or harm's way that needs this story. Now, if you guys don't support me, I don't know what to say about that, but I really wish you would. I see animals on GoFundMe. They're getting $10,000 for an animal that might need a operation. Now, I'm not hating on the animals or nothing like that, but I'm a human being. And I'm out here trying to reach your children with my story. And with videos like this, there's going to be more to come. And so, I don't know how else to say it, but I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing our children being gunned down in the streets. When I was 18 years old, I got into a shootout at the LAPD myself. I was charged with 5 attempted murders in the LAPD and the armed robbery of an LAPD officer. They shot at me over 70 rounds in a gasoline station on Vernon and Western in Los Angeles in like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And God spared my life. I didn't get hit by one bullet. I'm talking about the police officers were no more than 4 to 5 feet away from me the whole time they were shooting at me. And I was surrounded and didn't get hit by one bullet. It felt like an angel had picked me up and carried me to safety. I eventually did go to jail. They eventually did arrest me later on that evening. But it was a miracle. The whole thing was a miracle. And God let me go through that so that I can tell my story. When I get out here and talk to these kids, I talk about prison life. I talk about being in the gangs, in prison, and how the differences between, what life is on the streets for gang members and what life is in the prison system for gang members is 2 different set of rules. Because you're living in a microcosmic world of the penitentiary, and you have to live by rules. And the Crips and the Bloods is getting along because they're outnumbered by the Sureños or whatever gangs out there, the Mexican gangs. And it's real. So please support me. It's your boy Dale. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to really make a grave impact in this life, and if you got community leaders from every city out there, Philadelphia, New York, Las Vegas, California, Houston, Texas, here where I am, if you Chicago, doesn't matter. If you want me to come talk to your kids in the facilities, you want me to come talk to your kids at the church, whoever gets a chance to witness this video, please contact me. My phone number is 832-889-6498. My email address is Arthur Demetrius Dale Charles on Facebook. Hit me up, and you can holler at me, and I'll be more than happy to travel wherever you need me to come to talk to your kids, to try to inspire them and let them know that this is not the life that they want. This is not the lifestyle that God wants for them. Okay? Anyway, y'all be easy and God bless, and be looking for other videos, and I'll be looking for your support. Thank you very much.